Hello my gorgeous cult. Grab yourself a little beverage, an iced coffee, a tea. Let's sit down and let's answer some of your guys' questions. So over on Instagram, I asked you guys to anonymously, and there was no holds barred, no judgment. Today we're gonna answer some of those questions. Got my iPad here because we're recording on my phone at the moment, which won't be for long. We have a new camera on the way. I think let's just dive right into it, shall we? First question, do you have any spooky but cozy book recommendations? I'm so glad you asked. I love horror. The main books that I read are horror, thriller, gore, splatterpunk. Cozy horror? I have like one or two. Let me go and grab them. I don't actually have many cozy, spooky books, but probably one of the cozier ones you'll find on my shelf, Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. This is just like a very nostalgic kind of horror. Basically about a bunch of girls that live at a home for wayward girls, and they get gifted a book from someone that is clearly a witch, witchcraft, and there's sacrifices to be made. It's not super gory. The storyline is fantastic, as with anything from Grady Hendrix. This is probably the coziest book you'll find on my shelf. Everything else that I read is very degenerate. Probably is something quite wrong with me. Next question is, what is your favourite scary movie / TV series? Ooh. That's a hard question. That is a really hard question. So if we're talking classics, we've got to include some of the Friday the 13th in there. The Witch by Robert Eggers. Resident Evil films, absolutely. Underworld films, absolutely. I would do anything to look like Mila Jovovich in the Underworld films. Please, yes please. More current films, horror. It's really tough because I don't feel like there's been many like crazy good horror films out recently. Sinners was fan-fucking-tastic. Probably one of the best films I've watched in the past couple of years. I really like the original Conjuring films. God, there are so many horror films. I couldn't possibly give you one. EV series, if you've ever seen From, that is amazing. It doesn't answer any questions, it keeps giving you more questions, but yeah, I keep going back every single season to watch it. The new Alien Earth series I'm actually really enjoying as well. I think it's really good. I love Wednesday. I think it's really good. It's kind of like bringing goth back into the forefront and I quite like it. Love Wednesday Adam, love the vibes. I feel like I relate. They're probably the ones I can think of right now. Fave pair of shoes. Okay, so if we're talking like going out looking tea, it's gotta be New Rock's stacked boots. These bad boys. These took me so long to find in my size. These have to be my fave pair of shoes just because of how long I worked to find them. But if we're talking about fave pair of shoes ever in the entire world, it has to be Vans. Vans Old Schools or Vans Skate Highs are my literal go-to everyday shoe. I will wear them for anything. Wear them to hike. I will wear them to a funeral. I will wear them to work. I will wear Vans Old Schools or Skate Highs anywhere. It's very classic emo, isn't it? It's a classic emo shoe. Overall, favourite shoe has to be Vans, Old Schools or Skate Highs. What size do you wear? I'm gonna assume you mean clothing size. I'm like a 14 to a 16 or a straight 16. I sometimes have to size up in tops because of my chest. I have a smaller waist to like chest ratio, so it can be quite difficult sometimes trying to find clothes that fit. I wear a 14 to 16 clothes wise, and I wear a size 5, sometimes a 4 in shoes, which works out nicely actually because I can be a cheapskate and get kids shoes sometimes. So naturally when I ask people to ask me questions, this question comes up time and time again. Are you going to make an OF? Listen guys, if I had the self-confidence to get the ham sandwich out or to get the melons out, I would absolutely do it. Of course I would. Of course I would. I don't give a monkeys. I fully support women's wrongs, women's rights. But for me, I am way too self-conscious to do that right now. Never saying that I would never do it. I know like on some of my videos, you know, I wear lingerie, but even that is so far stepping out of my comfort zone, which I don't think a lot of people think. I think when they see my videos, they think that I'm like this super confident fat goth chick, but I'm not. I'm so far from it. Short answer to that question is not now, but never say never. Do you have a singular favourite tattoo? Has to be my punk panther. I just love it. I always wanted like a panther head or like a panther, but I didn't want it the like fully trad panther. A little play on words, little punk panther. He is my fave. Close second is my like double-faced lady monster this way, and then she's a lady this way. So although I don't have enough tattoos, I do not have enough tattoos. I need to be covered, guys. Throat down. I need to be covered. I don't have any money, and without money, you can't get a tattoo. We have two similar questions here. First one is, why are you leaving KILLSTAR? And the second one is, what's your new adventure when you finish KILLSTAR? Sit for this one. I'm still working for KILLSTAR until the end of September. I just need to move on to somewhere that I feel like better aligns with myself, my goals, new challenges. I just need a refresh, really. It's that point sometimes in life where like you just need to hit the reset button and start over with new experiences and new challenges. As for what's next, I am moving into the luxury wedding sector. So I'm going to be a social media manager for a luxury wedding venue brand. The most gorgeous venues across the UK and America. I have some really like genuinely gorgeous places. Hopefully I can take you along with me to some of them one day. Maybe some traveling on the horizon at some point. I have like this wanderlust. I feel quite confined in the UK at the moment, almost like I have cabin fever, and I'm just ready to spread the wings. New challenges, new things to excite me, and just hitting the refresh button. What is the next chess move for Miss Rigatira? Anything on your want to do list? Oh, guys, next chess move for me is just continuing to slay. Starting that new job, that's kind of like one of the biggest things happening in the next few months for me in terms of like life. So just starting that job is the next chess move. Anything on my want to do list? There is a lot. I really want to just explore some new things. I want to get some new habits, enjoy some new traditions. I'd love to go to York and go to the Shambles. I really want to go to the York Ghost Merchants. Haven't heard of the York Ghost Merchants. I popped some like little examples, but they're like, they sell these tiny little collectible ghosts and they're all different. They're all handmade. The queues to get in every day are insane, but I really need to go. I need to get myself a little ghost. I would really love to go back to Edinburgh. There were some bars there that I just cannot get out of my mind. Panda and Sons, Cocktail Geeks. Really like to go back to Norway traveling. I would love, with everything in my body, to go to America and visit Salem, obviously. Love to go to Forks and Seattle and do like the Twilight thing where you can go to all the different places. I'd love to stay in the Twilight house, but I know that's booked up for like 3 years in advance. On a side note as well, why does America get all the good spooky stuff? You guys have like Spirit Halloween, you have like spooky coffee shops, have like so many goth emporiums, you get oddity expos, like have none of that in the UK. Okay, like we have like some night markets and some curiosity expos and stuff like that, but like we don't have nearly as much spooky stuff as you Americans do, and I just think it's so unfair. What have the goths and the alt baddies in the UK got? I want to go to a Spirit Halloween. I probably wouldn't buy anything, but I want the chance to go. Also get like universal horror nights. Anyway, but a bit of a rant there from me, but that's kind of like the want to do list. Hopefully one day we can do them things, but you know, Cosy lives and all that. Does your smiley piercing feel weird and are you single? No, smiley piercing doesn't feel weird. I did it myself when I was like 16, and then I took it out when I was like 18. And then I redid it when I was 19, and here we are. Doesn't feel weird at all. I barely ever notice it's there, to be honest. Sometimes it does get caught on my Medusa piercing, so that feels weird. Am I single? No, I'm engaged. Been with Luke for just over 8 years now, so we aren't going to be breaking up anytime soon. Sorry. How does it feel knowing you're the fittest and coolest YouTuber out there, Ellis? Ellis? It feels great, to be honest. Next. Fellow emo here, what's your go-to eyeliner? Sick of mine fading. Fave eyeliner of all time is Urban Decay Perversion eyeliner. Second favourite, at the moment I'm actually using the Coven Beauty liquid eyeliner, which is super good. I love anytime eyeliner like comes in the pen. I can't stand ones that you have to like, that come out in the lid, does that make sense? So they're the two that I'd recommend. Do you have any tips for finding brands that clothing, sorry guys, I'm having a stroke reading this. Tips for finding brands that's clothing actually fits the gals right. I struggle with finding cute clothes all the time, but they never account for bigger chests. Girl, I feel you. I haven't even really figured it out myself yet. It's super tough. ASOS do a really good fuller bust range. If you can find anywhere that do fuller bust options, go for that. Although half the time in them sections you'll have like 5 pieces of clothing, so it doesn't really do anything. It's really tough and it depends what the clothing is. Like if it's a shirt, for instance, I just don't bother really with shirts anymore unless they're going under something, because the gapage is gapaging, and then a lot of the times I have to size up on the top half to account for the breasticles. If any of you figure it out, please send your tips my direction because I need them. Why have you decided to start YouTube? Super happy to see you making these videos now. Oh, thank you so much. YouTube's been something that I've kind of dipped my foot in and out of for about 8 years. Started doing a few like makeup videos during COVID like every other girl and their dog, and I really loved it. But I think now I've kind of finally figured out who I am and what I want to be and what I want to do. For the past year and a bit, I've kind of built up my Instagram kind of based around alternative fashion and lifestyle, and I think like I wanted to bring it to YouTube because A, I like the idea of like having longer conversations with you guys and actually being able to put across some personality. B, I have like so many exciting things in the works that I would really love to take you guys along with. Like, you're my cult, you're my spooky babes, and I love being able to share anything spooky or alternative with you guys. Like, such a passion of mine and I love it so much, and I think like this amazing bunch of people who follow me want to see this stuff too, and I think being able to have a YouTube channel and vlog and sit here like this and talk to you guys a little bit more is so lovely, and it's just something that I've really wanted to do for a long time. I've just never really had the confidence to fully go full send with it. Now that I have a bit of a following on Instagram and like a really lovely audience of people, and I finally figured out my niche and what I want to do, who I want to be, it just made sense. So here we are. What is your pet peeve, or what do you hate? What don't I hate? Myself. Joking. Not really. Okay. Eating really loud. Oh my god. ASMR. You know when on TikTok you're scrolling through and you have someone makes me want to KMS is what it makes me want to do. Noises, people that are always late. I think it just stems from the fact that like I have anxiety, so anywhere I ever go I'm always like 10 minutes early at least. If you know you're always late, leave earlier. The pet peeve of mine is manners. So like the whole saying like manners cost nothing is so true. When I'm driving along, whipping along, dancing away to some Limp Bizkit or Slipknot or whatever, and I come to a zebra crossing, I'm like, oh yeah, no, and someone crosses and they don't say thank you. I'm like, bitch, it's so easy to just put your hand up. If you don't give me courtesy or politeness though, I'm not gonna give it back. So hey, I'm just gonna do this last question because I feel like this is a really lovely question to finish off on. Hey girl, been following you for a while and love your fashion. Slay. What advice would you give to a larger person who wants to dress like you? So the first piece of advice I want to give you, don't see yourself as a larger person. See yourself as a person. I know it's a lot harder to do than me just say that. It's taken me 28 years to accept who I am. At the end of the day, you can dress however you want. Don't do things that make you super uncomfortable just because you think you need to live up to the expectation of someone else or a group of people. This is not how life works. You have one life in the body that you're currently in. Maybe you'll get reincarnated one day, but right now you have this. If you're a good person, if you have a good soul, if your soul is glowing, no one gives a fuck what you look like. If you're gonna live your life for other people, you will never be happy. ever. And it took me a very long time to realise that. When I first started doing Instagram videos, I used to think like, oh my god, this is so embarrassing, you know, like people are gonna cringe and laugh at me. Now I'm like, I don't care. I am getting to do so many cool things because I just put myself out there. Stop being afraid to fail and be embarrassed. These are the things that make us human, and these are the things that will lead you to succeed. I didn't know I was a life coach. There we go. I can be inspirational when I want to be. Hope you got to know me a little bit better. Maybe we can do one of these like every so often. Get a little bit more fruity or something. On that note, I'm going to say ciao, adios. See you in the next one.